All right, good morning, everybody. I've been chugging along this morning, and that's the last piece of tin that needs to be removed before I can actually start construction in here. I want to lay out some walls and understand where things are going to go. Maybe that's not true. This piece down here on the floor, which is basically impossible for you guys to see, but it's just a curve. Because originally this had tin side panels, so this curves up from the floor, and then there would have been tin going up here. We're not going to be doing tin there. We're going to be doing some sort of Luan or whatever. So that needs to come off, but that shouldn't be a big deal. So we'll get all that stuff removed today. We had talked about removing this big wiring loom here, which had to do with the thermomatic heat. I don't think I'm going to focus on that right now. I don't think it's a good use of time. I really want to get this to a place where I can start laying some walls in here. Once I have walls in place, then I'm going to feel comfortable about running wiring and that sort of stuff. Planning my outlets, planning my plumbing. We're making good progress. I will continue to take this tin down, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's out. Okay, so I got that piece of tin out up there, and I've been staring at the bus for the past 20 minutes or so, really starting to think through my layout. I think I'm going to reverse direction on saving the paneling up here. Let me tell you why. I was really looking at this space, trying to understand what would happen, with that piece of panel in, with the original panel that swooped down right there, and how the ceiling would, meet that, how much space it takes up, how I'd integrate like a drawer up there. And, I don't think that's the best use of this space. So I played through the idea of putting like the mini split head up here, but it's a little too small, and I kind of like having the light coming through. I could cut that off and make it fit, but I don't know if that's the best solution either. I held up one of my pieces of side tin, which you guys remember from previous videos. So I was looking at how it would meet that tin there, and I think I have a solution. So I want to do the tin down both sides. That's guaranteed. It looks really nice. It doesn't take up a lot of room. It only sticks out to about here. So it just gives a nice curve, and then in the middle, we'll have our white, either board and batten, tongue and groove, we don't know, some sort of white wood paneling or something in the center here with our lights in it. So coming up here, the tin will go all the way to the front, and I will save that piece of tin. That's fine. From here over will be that wood ceiling. And what I'm thinking is I like all this space instead of having that big piece of tin take all this out. So right here, I think would be a great spot for the mini split head, which saves me, because I don't have a piece of tin for this, and it saves me from having to mount my mini split head below the tin in front of these windows somewhere further back. And I don't want to do that. I think it'll look goofy that low. I prefer having it up high. So I think my solution is this. I'm going to put my mini split head right here. I'll probably cut this out since we don't need it. Just take a line right here, make it a little more normal. And then up in this space, again, just do some more cleaning, cut some of this stuff out that we don't need, and do some nice wood work up here. Have some planters or something in this area because they'll get all the light. And we also have the sign up there, so we'll have natural light kind of coming in through that. I think I'm pretty happy with that solution, and here's another practical reason why. So when it comes to practicality, this bus is a transit bus, so it doesn't have luggage bays below. I have one very small bay, but I don't have tall luggage bays. So all my utilities need to be basically in this bus. I can fit some stuff in that small bay, but it's only about 18 inches high. So most of the utilities are going to be in here, and what I'm thinking, because I don't want to mount the mini split on the outside, I've seen people do that, but I don't really enjoy it. I'm thinking with the mini split head right here, it makes it easy for me to come back with my lines and then go straight down one of these. I might even be able to fit the lines in these if I'm careful. I think I can. That's pretty deep. So one line stacked on top of the other, completely hidden within the wall, come down and put my mini split right here inside the bus, just cut a vent for the fan, and that would be underneath cabinetry. So right here, from the driver's seat back, we're planning to have maybe a wood stove or a closet, we're not sure, and then immediately start countertops all the way back. We're gonna have countertops on both sides, so I'm not too worried about losing storage space to that mini split. So I'll probably do that. I think it makes a lot of sense. So put the mini split under the countertop. It's completely hidden. You don't see it outside the bus. You don't see it inside the bus. I can still put shallow cabinetry in front of it with a false wall. So I'll have like maybe a spice cabinet there and maybe some shallow drawers. So I'm really liking that solution. I think that's what we'll do. I'll run it by Brie, make sure she agrees. But what we decided for sure, I think, is this tin shouldn't go back. It just isn't practical for my purposes with this bus. Yeah, it looks cool. But I think with saving the side tins, we've done enough to, honor the fact that this was an old transit bus. I wasn't feeling great about that, how I was going to save those pieces. So now, what's next? I think it really is time to lay some chalk on the floor, get some lumber in here, and I want to put up the walls for the bathrooms. Before we do that, I'm going to cut now back to the house, and I want to walk you guys through the floor plan that Brie and I are thinking for this bus. So from here forward, you can kind of understand what our vision is, and it'll be easier to follow along. I'll see you back at the house. Okay, so here we are back at the house, and you can see I've done some sketches before of what floor plan we think might work in the bus. And the only thing that we really know for sure is that it's a rear bedroom. Somewhere right in front of the wheel wells is going to be the bathroom. In front of the rear wheel wells is going to be the bathroom. Everything else is pretty much changeable, and we're not entirely sure what we want to do. So with what we just discovered about our ceiling in the bus, the one that probably makes the most sense is this one here. And this is the front of the bus. This is the rear of the bus. And the only thing that might have to change in this image to accommodate the mini split being up front is this sofa probably wouldn't exist. It would just be some sort of storage area. But what I'm working out now in my head is the mini split has a thermostat in it. And if it's that close to the wood stove, the heat pump is just gonna stay off all the time in the winter because heat rises, and I think most mini splits you can only set to about 85, and the ceiling will be hotter than that, so it won't be pumping heat as long as the wood stove's going at the same time. So what I'm thinking is I need to move the wood stove further back in this floor plan somehow. But I like this floor plan, so we know as we walk into the bus, we immediately have a little shelving unit, which is only about, waist high. So as you walk up the stairs, you'll be able to tuck your shoes away. And then immediately as you walk in and look down the aisle to your left, you'll have your sofa, which leads into a long counter space worktop with a fridge freezer below on the passenger side of the bus, and your sink beside that. This one I had thought about some overhead storage, but I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think we're going to need it. Now, directly opposite that, we have a large pantry, our cook stove, which is going to be an oven stove, probably a RV model that goes into the cabinetry as a built-in versus a freestanding one. And then I had additional countertops here, storage below. So we can still do that, just the wood stove I don't think should be that close to where the mini split's going to be. So what I'm thinking is maybe the wood stove just needs to be moved back down this way next to the pantry. The cook stove needs to be moved forward a bit, maybe directly opposite our fridge freezer. And then we'll have some space here, again, just additional counter space with the mini split below, and probably a small closet, perhaps a television there or something. I think that would make good sense. And some more storage above that wheel well. Pretty happy with this idea here for the bathroom. We already have the toilet existing in the bus in this location, so we decided we're just going to put a corner sink and have a very small toilet room directly across the hall. This is our emergency exit, as some of you might remember. We'll have the shower room. I'm thinking that should have a bench, which extends slightly over the wheel well. And then moving back more, we'll have some utility area here between these two spaces. I'm not sure if all of our solar and battery is going to fit in those areas. We might have some stuff going under the bed. We might even have some stuff way up here going under the sofa. I haven't worked that out yet. But utility space, definitely the hot water is going to be in this area. The closet for the bedroom is opposite the washer dryer right here. Then we have some space just for standing, built-ins on one side of the bus, and a queen-size bed laid out horizontally, which is raised with storage below, because you've seen the back of the bus where we have a step down around our engine. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, guys, and I hope this video hasn't come too late. I got some feedback the other day that I don't think everybody really knew what our plan was with the bus. So it's going to be a 4-season house. We'll be living in it full time, and hopefully it'll look something like this. So I hope that makes it clearer what we're doing every day when we go over and work on the bus. And I think that plan, that floor plan, and that location for the mini split really makes sense. So I'm glad I came across that solution in my head here. I hope Bree agrees. I haven't run it by her yet, but we'll get her opinion and we'll get to building. On we go. All right, we're back. I did run the interior plan by Bree last night. We didn't film it. It was a pretty long discussion. Then we came over and painted out some stuff in the bus here to kind of visualize it better. So I'm going to walk you guys through what our final plan is and what we're committing to. Okay, so as you approach the bus, we're going to do, this is actually a really big opening, so we should be able to pop a standard residential door right in there. I think it's almost 36 inches, so it'll be really easy to frame out a residential door. It's going to hinge this way, so hinges on this side, and we'll be able to walk right into the bus. So as you come into the bus, this entire area from here right over to this trim on the hump is going to be a shelf. It's just deep enough to fit like size 12 shoes lengthwise in there. You could also, stack them this way if we need to, but there'll be a shelf here, probably about, I'd call that 28, 30 inches high. So as you come up, it'll be a little less than waist height right here. Nothing really happens in this area. It just stays the driver's cockpit. Up on this shelf, this will be built out flat, so we'll have a nice spot for plants and additional storage and some other stuff. These are going to remain. They may or may not have wood on top, but they'll still open. And up here will be paneled out, because what you guys can't see in this lighting, but the sign, there, I can kind of illustrate it there. The sign glass, this is not one big open space. There is kind of secret area back here because of the sign, which will have access. So there'll be a door right here, and this will just be additional secret storage. Not a huge space because this is a curve, but there'll be some storage there. This piece is going to be cut out. This used to hold our blowers up, and that'll go away. So we just have a nice normal roof line right here. And then dead ahead, we decided that is a good spot for the mini split head. The only thing that's up in the air is it going to be flat mounted right here, or are we going to kind of angle it this way and come forward? I'm probably voting for flat mount. That way there's no headroom interruption here, but it would make sense, even though mini splits have directional outlets, it would make sense to have it slightly angled towards the rear of the bus. Don't know yet, probably going to be flat mounted. So with that being the case, right here behind, there'll just be a low cabinet, probably not even 10 inches, 11 inches above the top of the wheel well there. And that cabinet will have our TV on top of it, maybe some more planters, and below it will have some storage despite the wheel well. The cabinet's going to extend almost all the way out to here because this side will be open. So this raised panel right here will be shown. This one may be hidden. And on this side, there'll be a built-in couch. So starting at that white line there, the couch will come out. Remember, we have our shoe rack here, and the couch goes across following the trim, following this white line here, all the way over to about here. And it's a little bit longer than a traditional, say, sofa. Definitely bigger than a love seat. That'll, of course, fold out into a bed. Don't know if we're going to do slats, don't know if we're going to do tipping, but this will double in width to become a bed. And that'll be built in. Moving back again to the driver's side, we did decide this white line right here is just a random representation of where the mini split outdoor unit will sit. That'll be completely boxed in and insulated with a vent to the outside. Okay, and then the countertops, so cabinet and then countertops are going to start at that white line there and go over this way. And all the way to this line will be open below. And that way we can tuck our feet under and have a nice workbench type area where we can sit with some bar stools. It'll also double as our eating location. If we're not eating on the couch, with some TV dinner tables, this will be our table. Built-in permanent table. It's not going to fold down because it'll interfere with the mini split, but that's fine. And of course, this cubby area here will have some storage for probably the dog food. We keep the dog food in a big plastic container. That should slide in there nicely. Moving forward, we now have more cabinets. This is completely built out below, so countertop height, butcher block countertops. Going down, there's cabinetry. So a full-size cabinet here, and then we're going to go into our oven stove combination, which I'm thinking is going to be an RV-style oven stove, so built into the cabinets with a big drawer underneath for pans. Moving back a little more, this big gap right here is going to be our pantry, so it'll be full depth all the way back to the wall. It'll have its own window. And this door might be slightly angled, or we might just go straight and butt it, because the bathroom, the shower here, is a little bit wider than our countertops on that side. Don't know yet if that's going to be an angled door or just a straight door. But that's our pantry. Full of shelving, full of just good storage for all sorts of things. Spinning back around, we had our couch come to this line here, and then we have our deep countertops on this side, slightly deeper than they are on that side. So you can see narrow countertop, deep countertop. Deep countertops out here, storage below. Then we're going to have a double fridge below. We're going with the Avanti, so it's fridge freezer, side-by-side barn door style, but below the countertop. Again, butcher block countertops. We're going to a 30-inch farm sink right here, which is an apron front style sink, storage below. And then we've bumped into our bathroom wall right here. So our toilet room portion of the bathroom, which is on the passenger side of the bus, we'll just have a small door right here. You'll be able to walk in, spin around, use the toilet. In this corner here, we have a corner-mounted sink, which I'll do a custom vanity below, and a custom medicine cabinet up here. Spinning back around to the opposite side of the bathroom, this is our shower space, which is going to have the door, of course, outside. And the shower is a bit longer than the toilet room that I'm standing in. And that's because on this raised portion here, we'll have a bench. And out here in the aisle, below the shower bench, to use that space up, we'll have a drawer that's going in. So custom shower in this space, floor to ceiling. It'll be really, really big and nice. Doesn't have to share its space with the toilet or anything. And also with the door, we can shower outside or wash the dogs when the weather permits. Okay, and moving back more. So what this says is BEN for bench. And what this says is UTL for utilities. So bathroom wall starts right here. We go a full 28 inches, and this is our utility cabinet. So it goes, again, floor to ceiling. And in here we have our water heater, our inverter, possibly some batteries, not sure, and additional storage. But really important is the water heater, the water pump, if that's not on the tank itself. I might even put a fresh water tank in here if I have enough space. But at least 2 or 3 items in here for utilities for the house systems. Moving back again, we're still on the passenger side. We have a closet. It's not huge, but it's deep and it's tall. So a closet will probably have some built-in shelving and some hanging locations up higher. And then we bump almost immediately into our bed. It's going to be a queen-size bed. Now there is, of course, a wall here between the closet and the bed. But as you come down the aisle, you'd immediately bump into your bed. Now the bed is raised. It sits at about that level. So it comes out this way and is raised. We'll have all this storage underneath, multiple levels of storage. The bed will be on hinges so it can tilt up, so I'll still have access to my engine. And secondly, this shelf won't be hindered by the bed, so we might box this in and do an additional closet space, not sure. So closet space 1, closet space 2. Now, the bed is 80 inches long, which is traditional. It does give us about a foot over here of empty space. Still might do some built-in closets. Not really sure what we're going to do there. Coming back this way, now on the driver's side again, this is all washer dryer, this huge gap right here. So it's more space than we need for the washer and dryer. Obviously it has to be built up and sit on top of the wheel well. So there'll be some storage right here in front, some drawers or something, maybe a cabinet. And then on top of the washer dryer will be flat space to do either standing desk from the aisle or sitting desk from the bed. And that solves that. I believe, you guys, that's the entirety of the interior of the bus. We are definitely putting back our tin panels along the ceilings. They only stick out the width of this bracketry here. It's about 4 inches, and they curve up, and they just look amazing. I like them. I talked Bree into that. We're gonna keep them. Panel, and in the center will be some sort of wood look. If it's not wood, it might be plastic, but it'll be white. It'll look like planks. Whether it's board and batten, whether it's tongue and groove, we don't know, but the center is gonna be wood. Floor is gonna be life-proof vinyl. It's complete vinyl throughout, 100% waterproof. I've worked with it before. It's an amazing product. I already went and got some. It was on sale as well. Nice color. Nice wood color. And then our color combinations in this bus are going to be mostly whites, along with the wood for the butcher block. And then we're thinking black appliances where applicable. I mean, we don't really have that many appliances except for the stove. The fridge is definitely going to be stainless steel, so maybe the stove will be stainless steel as well. But black hardware and hinges at the very least. And I think that's it, guys. So that's our layout. It's 100% confirmed. We know what we're doing. Feeling good about it. You know, the question marks in my head still are, does my freshwater tank go in here? Does it get under the bus strapped up? You know, here's my black tank, so I could put my fresh tank here if I wanted to right under the sink. That's probably a good idea. Don't know yet what I'm going to do. I do have a small bay right here, which would interfere with too big of a tank. Same thing with the batteries. Are they going to be under this sofa? Are they going to be down below? Or are they going to be in the utility? Are they going to be under the bed? I haven't decided. But we have plenty of locations, and we won't be eating up too much of our storage regardless. So that's it. It's nice to have it finally understood and truly, truly laid out 100%, because all the questions in your head make it hard to continue to work and figure out what you're going to do next. So to that point, what are we going to do next? Well, next, I'm going to come through here and I'm going to start building this wall for the bathrooms on both sides. So we have toilet room there, and over here, shower room. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walls, essentially. 3 sides that need to be built out, you know, of the rectangle. I want to build those out. I want to see them in the space and truly understand what I'm working with here, because those 2 rooms are permanent. Everything else has to be shifted around them. So there's no walls that make up the bedroom. There's no walls that make up the kitchen. The walls are only around the shower and the toilet room. So those define the rest of the space, and I really want them in play before we go any further. Once those are up, we're going to start running house wiring and house plumbing. And then once those things are in, we're going to go back and work more on the actual bus, meaning painting, meaning insulation, meaning getting the space livable to a point where it's clean and nice. But I want to put those walls up first, get the wiring in second, get the plumbing in third, so I can go back and clean up the bus and build off of this core space right here. So that's what's coming next, guys. You'll see you in the next video. Hope you like what we're doing with Mossy Bus, and if you could like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel and get it out to more people, and I hope everybody's liking what they're seeing. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.